We need 500 new transit cops. What we need is less crowding on the platforms. And so let's make sure that we're giving riders just service to reduce that crowding and increase the frequency. And to speak to that a little more, to represent her district and who does really well out in Queens for the 13th is Senator Jessica Ramos.
Hi, good morning, everyone. And thank you so much for having me this morning. I think anyone who's ever struggled paycheck to paycheck understands that when you have only a little bit of money, you have to put it towards the things that are most important, right? You learn to prioritize what it is that you need in order to survive. And so what we're asking the governor to do this morning is just that. Because there's very little money in the budget right now, because the deficit in the MTA is ballooning, because we have to depend on the orange Cheeto in the office in order to someday find compassion and send us the money that is rightfully ours and that we need in order to fix our system, we need the governor to prioritize what really is important to New Yorkers. And right now it's making sure that our MTA is funded to the best of our ability, that we tax billionaires if it's necessary, and I believe that it is, and we make sure that we're providing New Yorkers with the service, the frequency of service, and the quality of service that they deserve and that MTA workers deserve, because we know how hard hit our MTA workers have been in this city because of the lack of PPE and protection that was provided to them. It is not the right time to send $250 million down the drain, which will only result in further harm to the poor and to the vulnerable of our city. So I'm here to add my voice to the Riders Alliance call for the governor to please understand that what we need money for is to make sure that we have an MTA service that is as best quality as we can during this time. We know that more than half of all essential workers depend on the MTA to get around, to get our city moving. And the best thing we can do is protect them and make sure that we are not putting them in harm's way, like the homeless man on the subway, when we can't depend on police officers to act with professional rationale, and we aren't lending them any help. We need the MTA to be a safe space for New Yorkers, and we need quality service before and now more than ever. And it's unfortunate because, of course, like every other problem that has been exacerbated by this pandemic, the MTA's deficit isn't new. It's largely because of years and even decades of disinvestment, of using the MTA like an ATM, taking money to save ski resorts and golf courses upstate. And those are the wrong priorities. Right now, what we need is for the governor, again, to please fund the MTA as much as possible, help us advocate for federal money, but help us also raise taxes on the rich. It's unconscionable that Jeff Bezos made $13 billion just yesterday. And meanwhile, here, hundreds and thousands of my neighbors are starving, are on the verge of eviction because they kept those housing courts open. So we either right this ship and we do it together as a community, and hopefully someday the governor will be able to hop on board and understand that what we're going through here in New York is not easy. We're going through dire straits, and putting money where it really counts is what matters. Thanks for having me. Oh, actually, I saw Telemundo on it. If it's okay, I'll offer a few words in Spanish. Yo me estoy añadiendo al llamado del Riders Alliance a pedirle al gobernador que por favor entienda que en este momento es muy importante que le demos prioridad a nuestros fondos en donde de verdad cuenta. No